Alright guys, we're on a 2016 GMC Sierra, and this truck does not have high windshield wipers, high-speed windshield wipers. I've been driving this truck like this for probably close to a year. Low speed was always fine, low speed and intermittent. Well, the other day we had a heavy downpour, and I really wish I had my high-speed wipers. So just to show that the wipers only work on low speed, let me throw a little water up here. I'm going to take the switch to low speed, which is what we got there. Then I'm going to go to high speed. No change whatsoever. Go back to low speed. Same speed. Splash a little more water up there. All the intermittent seems to work. So we're going to take the scan tool. The first thing I want to do is take a look and see if the computer is seeing all the switchology here on the multifunction switch here. So let's go to, I think everything was in BCM. I worked on a Denali. I did a video on a Denali that didn't have, the windshield wipers didn't work at all. So I'm a little bit familiar with the way this system works. This is basically the same thing, little different. It's a different year basically. This got light emitting diode. I am using the Launch CRP 919 EBT, which has turned out to be my favorite little scan tool. We're going to go to first we'll go to read data stream, and where it was last time, yeah, right here, lower left corner, wiper washer data. And we'll just select all. And what I want to do is mainly I want to go to the high speed and see if the BCM is seeing this switch actually go to high speed, but I also want to make sure that everything else is working. So first we'll just go to the first notch, which is intermittent. See if there's any change here on anything. Windshield wiper park is active. It is parked right now. It's in an intermittent speed. Then when it comes out of park, it goes to inactive. Windshield wiper motor relay command, and I'll show you how the speeds and the relays work on this here in just a minute. So right now you can see the windshield wiper switch is on delay 5. There's 4, 3, 2, and 1. So let's just go to low speed. Splash a little bit more water up there. I hate my wipers wiping on dry glass. Where am I at here? Okay, windshield wiper relay command is active. A little bit more water. High speed switch, you can see it says inactive. I want to go to high. Where are we at on the high speed? High speed showing inactive. I want to go to high. That's high right there. And you can see it does go to active. So the BCM is seeing the switch. Windshield wiper high speed relay command, windshield wiper high speed switch, active. The command has been sent to the relay, but we do not have high speed wipers. Windshield wiper switch is high down there in the bottom. You can see that. If I go to low, it switches to low. If I go to intermediate, that's where it goes to delay. So we're just going to turn that off, and I guess at this point we can go over here to actuation test, and we'll just see if, go to wipers here, got your washer, got your wiper motor relay, if we can go to high speed using the scan tool. So basically the scan tool will do the same thing the switch is doing here. If the switch was not working, you can use the scan tool to send the command to the relay itself, which actually it's sending it to the BCM, and the BCM is energizing the relay. In this case, the switch seems to be working. At least we're seeing that on the scan tool. And we're going to go ahead and hit, I'll just hit high speed. We'll see if it goes to high. That's low. You can see on the scan tool it's showing commanded state is high. We'll go to low. And you can see that, let me put a little bit of water up there. Regardless if I change it from low to high, it does not matter. Go ahead and hit stop. Release control. I want to go ahead and park them. There we go. So at this point we're going to be going out under the hood, it looks like. And first we're going to look at the diagram. I've got to get the wiring diagram, and then we'll go from there. The problem's probably going to be either the wiper motor or the relay. Unfortunately on this truck the relay is inside the fuse box. It's a printed circuit board relay. You are able to change it, as I showed on that last video where I changed the wiper on relay. You've got to desolder it from the board, solder in a new one, and you can get back up and running again. Unfortunately, they are not just a pluck out relay and pluck in a new one. So let me go ahead and show you the diagram. Let me get the diagram pulled up. Okay guys, so here's the underhood fuse box. Here's the BCM. Here's the wiper motor. Here's the wiper switch. This is just the washer down here in the lower corner. So basically what you've got two relays. This is just the on relay. If you go to any position that turns the wipers on to make them start actuating, this relay is going to go from its relaxed position, which is right here. If you look at this set of contacts, it's just going to a ground. Okay, where was we? Amazon delivery guy showed up. Oh, this set of contacts, whenever it's in its relaxed position, it's just going to a ground. And obviously you can see that the coil is going to the same ground. So what we're looking for on this leg right here is power, which is what the BCM is going to supply to this relay whenever you go to any position for your wiper switch. When that happens, this set of contacts is going to slam over here and make contact with this set of contacts right here. When that happens, you've got power right here at this fuse. So we now have power going through this set of contacts, coming up through the relaxed or de-energized high-speed relay. It's going to shoot power down here. Forget this circuit. Pay attention to this yellow wire. It's going to shoot power down here to the yellow wire, go right here to the motor, and turn it on low speed. So yellow is our low speed. Now, if you look right here on the motor, we got a ground. Actually, it's this black wire right here that goes up, and it goes down to this same ground right here. So this wire right here is the ground. The yellow wire is the low speed, which means that the white wire must be the high speed. So how's it work? Which is the circuit that's not working currently on this truck. So whenever this relay energizes, so when you go to the high speed detent on your multifunction switch, the BCM sends a ground to this coil, because it's always supplied with this power right here. Contacts are going to slam over. Now you're going to put power. Remember, these are still slammed over because this relay is on or energized in any position other than off. So you've got power coming over here. Now you've got power coming down on this set of contacts, going down to the white wire, bam, to the high speed windings on the motor, and then you've got your high speed. So this is my thinking. The motor is probably fine, and the reason I say that is because if this relay was energizing the way it should, and these contacts were going over here on the high-speed set of contacts, That means that the low speed windings of the motor should be losing this yellow 12 volt feed from the relaxed relay. Does that make sense? So when this high speed relay is relaxed, the on relay is sending 12 volts through this set of contacts down to the yellow wire to the low speed windings of the motor. If this relay goes over to these set of contacts, that means you just lost the 12 volts on this yellow wire. Which means that if the high speed windings of the motor was bad and you just lost the 12 volt on the low speed windings, the motor should actually stop. If the high speed windings was bad in the motor and I go to high speed, this motor should come to a stop if this relay did actuate and go over to this other set of contacts, which is the high speed set, to provide power on this white wire. So what I think the problem is this relay is not actuating, and it's just staying on the low speed. Even though I've got the switch to high speed, it's staying right where you see it right here, which is continuing to provide the 12 volt feed to the low speed windings of the motor. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think there's any reason to go after the motor connector. I think we need to go right here. We need to access this relay. Now, just so you know, read this right here. Relays listed below are non-serviceable printed circuit board relays and are internal to the block. So every one of these relays, there's 11 of them. Your horn relay, windshield washer pump relay, windshield wiper relay, windshield wiper speed control relay, auxiliary heater coolant pump relay, front fog lamp relay, headlamp high beam relay, stop lamp relay, trailer backup lamp, trailer stop turn signal lamp relay, left and right. So if you're having issues with anything I've just called out here, and you've troubleshot it and ring wiring and everything, the relay that's probably your issue that's built into this underhood fuse box is probably bad. Now, this whole box, you can get them for about $350, $400, $500, depending on the exact year, make, and model. Or you can take yours out. They come apart really easy, and you can actually desolder. If you've got a soldering iron and a little bit of soldering skills, you can desolder that relay and replace the relay, which is probably what I'm getting ready to have to do. So let's go over here to the truck. Let me get the camera set up, and we're going to start taking this thing apart. Alright, so here's this underhood fuse box. This is where all the fuses and relays are. And to get this cover off, just undo these little clips right there, pop that up. And it's got a nice little diagram, tells you where all the different relays and fuses are. And this is what it looks like. Unfortunately, those 11 relays that's on that list, they're built inside this. They are not these external relays that you can pluck out of here. So to get this out, super easy. Which, by the way, this is the feed through the wiring harness going into the firewall for the wiper motor. Now, if I suspected the motor in this case, I would access these wires right here and test them and make sure that we was getting power there. I don't really want to poke holes in them, so I don't think I'm going to bother with that, simply because, like I explained over there, if that on relay, if the high-speed relay was going over to the high-speed contacts, then the low speed should stop working at that time. The low speed, the wipers shouldn't stay on. So, in my way of thinking, that relay is not changing contacts, changing position. And since the scan tool is showing the BCM is seeing the command, I'm thinking that relay, or possibly a feed going to this fuse box, is not there. So let me get the camera set up. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this bolt out. I'm going to loosen this bolt, and we're just going to pivot this out of the way. That way we'll have more access to it. So let me get set up here. Alright guys, so this is the plan. I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to go ahead and snap this apart, and we're going to check that relay. Now before I pull this apart, I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to find the leg that goes to the high-speed motor, wiper motor, and I'm going to jumper it just to make sure that it does go to high speed. If it does, that tells me that the problem is most likely that relay. So I do have I just put this towel right here just to kind of help protect my paint. I've got the negative battery cable disconnected. If you reach down here, there's a little cover right here, right directly here. If you reach down and just pinch, there's two little tabs you pinch, and that cover pops up. There's a little lanyard attached to it, so you can't take it completely off, but get it out of your way. I believe, what size did I get here? There's a 13, there's a main battery feed that goes to this, and you got to take it 13 millimeters. Okay. And as far as the connection, that's about it. Now this thing should come out of here, and it's kind of a two-step process. So you're going to pull up, you're going to hit these little tabs here, and that's going to start camming this thing up out of here, and then you're going to end up pushing back down, and it'll end up camming it out of there. I think we got that one. There. Hopefully you saw how that works. So there's a, see these two cams? There's a stud in here, and whenever you pull up on it, it cams it up so far, then you push back down, then it cams it the rest of the way out of there. That's basically all you've got. Lay that out of the way there. Just want to take a look and make sure that we don't have anything obvious right here. And I don't see anything. Alright, so this is my next step. I'm going to go to the diagram. I'm going to take a look and figure out which one of these connectors are for the wiper motor. I know it's X3, but I'm not sure if it's going to be this one or this one. It's this one. This goes, yeah. How good can you guys see that? This is the X3 cavity right here, and I'll show you that on the print. I've got the print laying over there, which means that whenever that's flipped up and going down in here, that makes this right here X3. I just got to figure out which one of these terminals are running up here to the wiper motor, and then I'll jumper it, I think. I'll have to look at the diagram, see what I'm going to have to do. I'll probably have to do two, ground and high speed, maybe, to get that to kick on. Anyway, let me take a look at the diagram and figure out my next step. Alright guys, so according to the diagram, I need to attach a ground. So here's the motor. Black wire is H2, and then the high speed, which is this white wire, is K4. And here's the connector. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, positive, should go there. H1, 2, negative, should go there. So I've got it set up. I have temporarily connected my ground back on the battery. I've got the red lead connected here, which is a direct feed over to the positive terminal of the battery. I've got this black wire going from what I say it was, H2 to ground. The red wire is going to go here to, what was it, K4. And if I did this right, we should have high speed wipers, and we do. So that confirms that from here to the wipers, to the wiper motor itself is good. Which kind of helps confirm that the relay is probably the culprit. Okay guys, so you got a couple options here. One is just to order one of these and put it in and be done. They're about 350 bucks online, depends on the exact year, make, and model. Or you can replace a $10 relay, which I'll put a link to. This is the relay. Now, there's two different style relays. So the 11 relays that's in this are all exactly the same, except some are a 5-pin relay, some are a 4-pin. For instance, the washer motor is a 4-pin. Both the low speed and high speed, or both the on relay and high speed relay for the wipers are a 5-pin. And I'll put part numbers to both and links to both. But this is the part number to the 5-pin. Hopefully that's coming through. I can't tell by the viewfinder if it is or not, but nonetheless, there'll be links. So the next step is to snap this thing apart, and it's relatively easy. I say that. It takes just a little bit of finagling. What you have is right here, you can see the little tab. You've got them in the corners, you got them going down the sides. So basically you're just going to get over here by putting a little bit of pressure upward. You're going to pry these out. Once you start getting them pried up, and just little by little they'll start unsnapping. These corner ones are the toughest because, well, because they're right there in the corner. There we go. I think that did it. Oh, and here's the way this little gizmo works. If you look right here, you got these tabs. You just pinch them, and then that pops right up off there. So oh yeah, I almost forgot. You're going to have to snap a picture of all your fuse and relay positions. Just take your cell phone, snap a picture, and then you got to pluck all these out of here. So let me do that. I'm going to pluck these out, and that way you know exactly where to put them when you're going back together. So I'm going to start plucking these out of here, and once I get them all plucked out, I will turn the camera back on. All you just got fuses and relays. Don't forget to take a picture. The diagram of this with what fuses and relays are where is in the wiring diagram. So even if you forget to take a picture, you can refer to the wiring diagram where this stuff goes. Alright. Got all my fuses out. Now, this thing should pull right up out of here. Of course, you want to make sure there's no corrosion on it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Well, I say it looks pretty good. Look at that. Now, if I remember right, on that Denali, this was the on relay, and this was the high-speed relay. And you can see this thing is ate up with corrosion. Wow. So ideally, it would probably be best to replace this. As you can see, there's some relays right here. But what I'm going to attempt to do, mainly for this video, is I'm going to see if we can unsolder. I'm going to verify that this is the actual relay we need to go after. If it is, I'm going to see if I can unsolder it and solder that new one in, and then clean up this corrosion with some contact cleaner. And we're going to put this back in and see if we have any luck with it. If not, I'm going to be ordering another one. The Denali one was perfect. Other than that bad relay, there was no corrosion on it or anything. But this is what they're notorious for. Depending on what part of the country you're in, you can get these that are just completely corroded, mainly down in the connector area. But yep, I think we just found the problem. I'm pretty sure this is the relay. Let me verify that. Alright guys, so I just verified that we do have, so these two contacts right here, this one and this one, are the power and ground to the relay that we need to work. And they do have power and ground, but there is no clickety-clack of the relay. Relay is definitely bad. So I'm going to remove this conforming material, I think is what they call this stuff. And we're going to commence to unsoldering. I think we've got to unsolder. Where are you at here? That one, that one, that one, that one, and that one to get that relay out. There should be 5 contacts. But first you got to get through this protective conforming material. So I'm just going to get me a plastic scraper and I'm going to start scraping on that, see if I can get that removed. This stuff does seem to chip off here pretty easy. I mean, I'm just using a plastic scraper and it's chipping, peeling most of it up. I may have to still get in here with a little bit of maybe acetone. I don't know if acetone will do it or not, but I think about got it. Anyway, just to kind of show you how easy that stuff is to chip off there. Alright guys, so I think I've got it pretty much cleaned up. So I'm going to put this little bit of flux down here. I'm going to reflow these with the solder that I've got. In the hopes that it'll help me suck that out of there, or wick it out. I found on the last one that using the solder wick seemed to work best. Because I think what it does is this particular solder that I'm using, it'll mix in with the original, and then it helps it suck up through the solder wick, this stuff here. Get me a nice fresh piece of wick here. Yeah, see how it just does a good job of soaking it right up out of there. Alright guys, I finally got the relay out. Kind of broke it because I gripped onto it with some needle nose. Tweaked it and popped it out, and the top popped off. And I did kind of clean up the board just a little bit. I'm going to spray it down with some contact cleaner here in a minute. Where'd the relay go? Right there. That's where the relay was at. So I want to spray this down with some contact cleaner, and then we're going to get the new relay soldered in. Alright guys, so the new relay already comes pre-tinned. So no reason to tin the legs. Let me get this thing stuck in here. So I've got the relay just kind of stuck in there. So now I'm going to hook some power to it and see if we can get it to click. This was the fuse. These two terminals right here are the where the fuse, 25 amp fuse goes down into, and then this right here is the ground. And I think you can hear that clicking. So I think we may have had some luck. I did clean the board up. Hopefully we'll get it put in and have some good luck with it. Alright guys, so I think we're ready to go back together with this. Obviously look at your pins too. Make sure that they don't have a bunch of corrosion. And let's see, the way this thing goes. Okay, so this is the top. It sits down in there like that. Again, look at this, make sure there's no corrosion on it. I'm going to wipe it down a little bit. The bottom of these are not sealed, which is kind of crazy to me. Make sure that all your pins are starting to come through before you start snapping it down. And that's it. The thing is back together. All I got to do is put the fuses and the relays back in. So let me get that done. We're going to stick it back in the truck, see what happens. Alright guys, got all the fuses and relays back in, so let's go throw this in, see what happens. Alright, first thing I want to do is just kind of blow this thing out. Once you kind of cam it in there, it should go down pretty easy. just like so. And remember, you got the got this battery cable right here. Runs over to the battery. So that should do it. Once I get the battery hooked up, then we can check it. See if that's going to take care of it. Battery's hooked up. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, they parked. Throw some water up there. There's low. The intermittent works. Here goes nothing. There's high speed. There's low. There's high. Low. High. Start it up. Make sure the since I had the battery disconnected, it's got to do the memory learn for the windows. Hood's open. Everything appears to be working. We have no weird instrument issues going on as far as like messages saying that something's not happy. Anyway, that's it, fellas. Snap the cover back on it. Make sure your rubber seal is in the cover. These, they put a rubber seal up top here so water can't go down from the top and get into it, but the bottom is completely unsealed. That's the downfall of these things. So, anyway, we're done. That looks like it took care of it. Just got to put this back on and then put the cover on. Anyway, 2016 GMC Sierra, replacing the internal printed circuit board relay for the high-speed wiper. We'll see you in the next one. You guys take care.